Hey everyone, it's Aaron here in my front porch, bald. It's 90 degrees outside, I'm sweating, but wanted to do a quick update because I started this whole Mike Mentzer high intensity training program, and I did it backwards because I actually did my first workout without doing an introduction video as to why I'm doing it, or where my starting progress is and what I'm working with. So just to go really quick into it, I'm 6'4.5", 6'5". Currently, I weigh about 200 pounds. And that stuff fluctuates. I check every day. Now, luckily, here recently, I've been able to stay over 200 pounds every day. So I'm usually fluctuating between about 200 to 206 just at any given point of the day. Now, before I started this training program, I was about 195, 196 before I really started documenting my growth. Now, the reason I'm doing it is I live in my brain. I'm an overanalyzer, overthinker, and I spend all day up here playing out movies and hypotheses that will never happen. So what I wanted to do was document, at least to myself, and if anyone out there in the world gets some progress or actually learns something from this watching me, I would love that as well. But this is more so just me documenting and being able to see my own results. And the reason I picked Mike Mentzer's training program, it just made sense. There's so much dogma and everything in life, and I personally feel like that's part of the reason Mike Mentzer was shunned so heavily and why a lot of his success has been kept quiet over the years, because everything he taught, all the principles when it came to diet, nutrition, training regimens, and honestly just how it applied to his own philosophy, went against the status quo. Because bodybuilding is a billion-dollar industry, nutrition, the supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it doesn't do a lot of benefit for you, but because more is better, and that's essentially the philosophy we have in life. That's what capitalism is. That's what, to some regards, socialism and communism is, just in a different way. And Mike was one of the few people I would regard in life. It's hard to say for sure if I would put him in the same level of like Nikola Tesla, or here's another good example, John Taylor Gatto, because he wrote a book called Weapons of Mass Instruction, breaking down the school system, and he was a school teacher in New York. George Carlin. You have all of these professionals in their field, but when you really start to piece things together, another good example I'll say off the top of my head is Patrice O'Neill. And, oh man, I have spent so much time listening to that man. But when you line up what Patrice was really saying and his philosophy on life, and you line it up with what Mike Mentzer was saying and his philosophy on life, a lot of the things start to echo and come together. But a lot of these people don't see the same success, regardless of what kind of results they get, just because it's not profitable to the status quo. So I fall into that category, and it sucks because I want to be successful. We all want to drive Ferraris and stuff like that. But intellectually, it's going to be very hard for me to ever accomplish that, just because the way I view things on life. It's, how should I say, I look out for the little guy, even though I'm tall myself. I consider myself a little guy, and a lot of things in life are not fair, but they're structured not to be fair. So Mike Mentzer's and his philosophy with the high intensity training, the whole goal is to use the minimum amount of effort and time to get the maximum amount of result. Because if you really think about it, what is high intensity training? It's essentially putting your body in a life or death situation. You are pushing your body to its absolute limit, and even beyond it a little bit. And it's forcing your body to say, oh crap, if this is something I'm going to have to encounter, I need to be prepared for it. And he talks a lot about, your whole systemic fatigue and your body's natural reserve system, saying that, once you've tapped into that, you've tapped into that. So you don't need to go beyond, you don't need to overtrain. And a lot of people don't like that term of overtraining, because a lot of people in the health and fitness industry, they're training constantly. I mean, that's basically what CrossFit is. A lot of these gym bros who are, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week in the gym, they live there. And that's not so much to do with training as it is to do with their ideology. And a lot of these guys, supplements is, in terms of anabolic steroids, is getting more and more common. You have SARMs, which I haven't done a lot of research into yet, but you have a lot of people on the this SARM stuff, which is, very detrimental. And, we've all thought about it if you've done any research into fitness of, hey, should I get on steroids? But the whole point is we're all trying to keep up with a system that's designed to make us feel inadequate, and that just doing what you're supposed to do isn't enough anymore. You can't just work yourself out in a half hour and expect to get results. Who are you? Like the Dave Groggins and his whole philosophy is, always do something, always getting at it, divorce your wife, don't spend time with your wife, go out there and run, go run up a mountain, stuff like that. We're always competing kind of like crackheads for the next high. We're all looking at, The Rock. We're all looking at people like that, and we just think, oh, we're getting lapped. When all it is a manufactured image that doesn't exist in real practical life, and we don't see the team of effort of doctors and physicians and nutritionalists and, all the injuries and the PRs and the cover-ups that go on behind the scenes. I don't know if any of y'all have done any digging into, Arnold Schwarzenegger or some of the other professional bodybuilders who really made a name for themselves, and it's rife. I mean, it's the same thing as the mafia in a way, like old school mafia, like The Godfather and stuff like that. That's how a lot of these big multi-billion-dollar industries are founded. There's this great YouTube channel called Phillon, Phillon, I believe, and he's got a lot of documentaries that go, like a recent one I was watching was Bang Energy. He did a breakdown on how that happened, and it's snake oil. A lot of these people are selling snake oil, and I don't want to be a part of that. I want to see what actual results look like and what structure looks like. So, long rant. If you stay through all that, I appreciate it. But that's why I picked Mike Mentzer's training program, because high intensity training is basically efficient and is straight to the point. I mean, you don't need a lot of exercises. You don't need to be in the gym for an hour to get your body to a state of survival. If you're in a life or death situation, it doesn't take 2 hours for your body to realize, hey, I need to do something. Now, if you structure your workout where, you have 4 sets of 10 or you have 5 sets of 20 and you're using these lighter weights, your body is going to take 2 hours to get to a point where it's, oh crap, I'm tapped out. But you're not going to experience the same kind of growth because you're tapping into your endurance muscles. So your reserve capacity might go up, but like Mike Mentzer said, you're not trying to do an anaerobic or an aerobic exercise. You're trying to do an anaerobic exercise, which means you're not doing volume. You're not trying to build your reserve capacity. You're trying to build growth. And by building growth, you push your body to its utmost limits, to the point where you tap into your limited reserve system and say, oh crap, we don't want to tap into our reserve system again, so let's grow and become bigger so we can handle the trauma that's about to be inflicted upon us without tapping into that. So I'm super excited. I'm on day 4 right now, and I'm going to count even the days not in the gym as training days, because it's way easier to break something than it is to build back up, and your rest days are more important than your actual gym time. So I'm currently, monitoring my sleep. I'm not so much monitoring my carbs and my diet. I just monitor my weight, because if I'm eating enough where I'm consistently gaining weight, then I believe I'm a step in the right direction, because I'm not doing creatine. I'm not doing protein powders or anything like that. I'm simply eating, 4 times a day, and that would be nothing crazy. I'm not packing, chicken and rice or anything like that. I'm simply just relaxing, get some Fuzaklis, eat, a couple pancakes with eggs in the morning. As long as I feel comfortable, my own body will tell me, hey, you've had enough to eat. And I can tell, like, okay, I'm feeling a little light, need to eat some more food. So that's how I base, my nutritional intake, because we eat plenty of food here in the United States. There's an abundance of food. So, as long as you're eating 3 times a day, or just having big meals every day, you're going to get the growth you need. Stuffing down protein in your face all day is not how you stimulate growth. If anything, you just have really expensive poops. So, and you fart a lot more. And according to my wife, that's not an attractive thing. So I really don't mind the fact that I'm not doing protein shakes anymore. But yeah, so day 4, even though this was supposed to be done on day 1. So I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to put it out there. This is just off the Chrome Dome here. So appreciate it. And I hope y'all enjoy you know, the progress I want to make. I want to try to keep making more videos, not just about workouts, but about everything else. So stay tuned, and hey, see y'all next time.